They're watching you. The waitress slides a folded napkin across white linen, eyes darting to the manager's office. The black diner freezes mid-bite. $75 steak forgotten. He pockets the note, maintains his poker face. Cameras? A setup? Or something worse? The waitress vanishes into kitchen steam. Only then does he unfold the napkin beneath the table. They seat black customers by the kitchen. Rate us badly, you're flagged. Check the tablet at the host stand. Color coded. His fingers tighten, crumpling the evidence. Suddenly, the pattern clicks. Every black family relegated to kitchen tables, every white couple window seats with views. The millionaire undercover as an average man scans the elegant restaurant with new eyes. His jaw clenches. Sir, is everything to your satisfaction? The manager approaches, smiling. Devin Jackson's mind races. This wasn't just about one meal anymore. This was war. Devin Jackson hadn't always been wealthy. Growing up in South Chicago, he'd watched doors close before he could touch the handle. At 42, he now commanded a $300 million fortune after transforming dev tech solutions from a garage startup into a cybersecurity powerhouse. Success changed how people treated him, but only when they recognized him. 3 years ago, after a luxury car salesman dismissed him until the manager whispered his net worth, Devin started his undercover missions. Dressed down, he tested how businesses treated ordinary black customers. After 15 years building my business from nothing, I realized my next move needed to be about more than just money, he'd told his inner circle. Power means nothing if you don't use it to fix what's broken. The Silver Spoon Steakhouse chain had caught his attention. 30 locations nationwide, celebrity clientele, and $200 steaks. Perfect acquisition target if their values aligned with his. Silver Spoon projected excellence. Their Instagram showcased diverse diners, charity galas, and celebrity endorsements. Their CEO made headlines donating to racial justice organizations. Their waiting list stretched months. Yet whispers surfaced. Former employees hinted at troubling practices beneath the polished veneer. Online reviews showed patterns. White reviewers raved about impeccable service. Minorities described cold efficiency at best. Operations Director Thomas Whitfield ran the flagship location with military precision. Tall, silver-haired, with perfect teeth and manicured nails, he personally greeted VYPS while supervising every detail. Restaurant Business Magazine had named him Host of the Year twice. The restaurant's interior reinforced its luxury brand: crystal chandeliers, leather booths, sommeliers moving between tables like dancers. The front dining area glowed with warm lighting, while areas near kitchens remained dimmer, atmospheric, according to promotional materials. Devin arrived at 7:30 p.m. wearing jeans, a plain button-down, and no watch. Nothing signaled wealth, just a regular guy treating himself. The host's smile tightened slightly. Reservation name? Jackson, table for one. Her eyes flicked to the tablet. Something changed in her expression, nearly imperceptible. Of course. Follow me. Despite half-empty window tables, she led him to a section near swinging kitchen doors. Servers rushed past, carrying steaming plates. Every few minutes, those doors banged open, releasing bursts of kitchen noise. His server, Alyssa, approached with an oddly apologetic smile. Mid-30s, Latina, with tired eyes that suggested someone who'd seen too much. Welcome to Silver Spoon. Can I start you with a glass of wine? Devin noted she didn't mention the specialty cocktails advertised on table cards at other tables. As he ordered, he scanned the room. A pattern emerged. Every non-white diner sat in his section. Every window table held white patrons. Coincidence or design? Devin savored his steak slowly, watching. The differences were subtle but unmistakable. White diners received amuse-bouche tiny complimentary appetizers with elaborate descriptions from servers. His section? None. Families at window tables got tableside dessert preparations with dramatic flames. His section? Desserts arrived plated from the kitchen. Water glasses at premier tables never emptied. His required flagging down servers. Devon pulled out his phone, appearing to check messages while taking notes. Not confirmation bias systematic differences in service standards based solely on seating zones. Alyssa moved between tables efficiently, her service competent but constrained. When a nearby table requested a different wine, she glanced nervously toward the manager's station before responding. "I'll check with our sommelier about availability," she said, but Devon caught her tension. While waiting for his check, Devon overheard two servers at the service station behind a decorative screen. "Table 15 is a midnight reservation. Put them by the kitchen exit," a male voice instructed. "Table 16 is platinum. They get the window view and complimentary champagne." "But 15 specifically requested a window table for their anniversary," a female voice protested quietly. "Not my policy. Whitfield says midnight customers get standard service only. Use your earpiece if they complain. We'll have a manager explain the situation." Devon's fingers moved rapidly on his phone, documenting the exchange. Coded language, segregated seating, differentiated service, not random policy. As Devon paid his bill, commotion erupted 3 tables over. A well-dressed black couple stood facing a server and Whitfield himself. "We've been waiting 45 minutes for our main course," the man said, voice controlled but firm. "Tables seated after us have already received theirs." Whitfield's response was practiced smoothness. "Sir, I assure you our kitchen prepares each dish with individual attention. Different dishes require different preparation times. The table beside us ordered the same steaks 10 minutes after we did." "They're already eating." Whitfield's smile remained fixed. "Perhaps they ordered them prepared differently." "I'd be happy to check on your order, but I can't control cooking times." Devon watched as the couple reluctantly sat down, frustration evident. Simultaneously, across the room, a white customer complained about wine temperature. Within seconds, Whitfield personally delivered a new bottle with profuse apologies and complimentary desserts. The contrast couldn't be more stark. As Devon stood to leave, Alyssa approached with his receipt. Their eyes met briefly before she slipped him the folded napkin that would change everything. In his hotel room, Devon spread Alyssa's note on the desk, reading it fully. For 3 years, Silver Spoon has used a color-coded reservation system that sorts customers by race. Platinum for white guests, window seating, full service. Silver for Asian, middle section, standard service. Bronze for Hispanic, variable placement. And midnight for black customers, kitchen proximity, basic service. Staff are trained to handle customer management with coded language. Complaints from midnight tables are minimized or dismissed. Staff who give equal service regardless of coding are punished with worse sections or reduced shifts. I've documented this for months but need help. They're expanding to 15 more cities. I'm risking my job, but this is wrong. If you want evidence, I'm here Tuesday to Saturday evenings. My name is Alyssa Rodriguez. P.S. They track online reviews by customer name. Any negative reviews from midnight customers are flagged for special handling." Devon sat back, anger building. The systematic nature stunned him. Not just bias weaponized discrimination as business strategy. He picked up his phone. Devon couldn't sleep. The restaurant's practices echoed too many experiences from his own lifetimes when excellence wasn't enough to overcome prejudice. At 3 a.m., he began researching. Silver Spoon's corporate structure, ownership, previous discrimination complaints. By dawn, he'd found troubling patterns. 3 discrimination lawsuits quietly settled with NDAs, Yelp reviews from black customers mysteriously disappearing. Former employees leaving cryptic warnings about the system. Devon stared out his hotel window as sunrise painted the city. He'd built his reputation finding security vulnerabilities in systems. This was just another broken system, one that hurt people who looked like him. His decision crystallized. He would investigate Silver Spoon thoroughly before either investing or exposing them. This wasn't just about one restaurant, it was about confronting a cancer of discrimination hiding behind luxury and exclusivity. "This isn't just about bad service," he whispered to himself. "This is about whether we let businesses decide people's worth based on skin color in 2025. 3 days later, Devin assembled his team in his company's conference room. On the wall, photographs and documents about Silver Spoon created a disturbing mosaic. "I need your help," he told his most trusted colleagues. "This goes beyond business." Maya Chen, his legal counsel, reviewed his findings. Systematic discrimination like this violates multiple laws, but proving intent requires more than anecdotes. James Okafor, Devin's chief security officer and former FBI analyst, studied the seating patterns Devin had documented. "We need more data points and internal documentation." Sophia Winters, DevTech's communications director, considered the implications. "If we expose this, the backlash will be significant both against them and potentially against any whistleblowers." Devin nodded. "That's why we need ironclad evidence. I'm going back undercover, different appearances, different times. We'll document everything. James, I need surveillance equipment that can't be detected. Maya, prepare legal protection for any employees who help us." He turned to the window. Silver Spoon built their empire on treating people differently based on race. We're going to dismantle it brick by brick. The investigation strategy took shape over 48 hours. Devin's team developed a comprehensive approach. Multiple undercover visits using different team members of various races to document treatment differences. Discrete recording equipment to capture staff conversations and training. Interviews with former employees with legal protection, guaranteed. Statistical analysis of seating patterns and service standards. Acquisition of internal documents showing official policies. Financial analysis. Connecting discrimination to profit strategy. Maya stressed legal boundaries. "We can record in public spaces. Private offices require more care. Everything must be admissible if this becomes a lawsuit." James configured button cameras, modified pens with microphones, and special glasses with recording capability. These will capture everything without detection. Devin established clear red lines. No employee would be pressured. No illegal methods would be used. The goal was system change, not individual punishment. 2 weeks, Devin decided. We gather evidence for 2 weeks, then decide our approach, either as potential investors with leverage or public exposure. Devin returned to Silver Spoon 3 days later with a different appearance, glasses, different hairstyle, business casual attire. Seated again near the kitchen despite half-empty window tables, he requested Alyssa as his server. When she approached, no recognition showed on her face, professional discretion. "I got your note," Devin said quietly when she brought his water. Her hand trembled slightly, the only sign she heard him. "Meet me at the coffee shop across street after your shift. I want to help, but need to understand more." At midnight, in a back corner of an almost empty cafe, Alyssa finally spoke freely. "I've worked there 5 years. It started subtly suggestions about customer comfort and optimizing experiences. Then Whitfield implemented the color coding system 3 years ago. Suddenly, we had scripts for different customers. She described watching colleagues get punished for treating everyone equally, how her own hours were cut after she seated a black family at a window table when a host called in sick. I documented everything, took photos of the seating charts, recorded training sessions on my phone, but I'm a single mom. I need this job." Devin listened, his resolve hardening. "You won't lose your job, and you won't face this alone anymore." Their alliance formed over coffee and shared purpose, a waitress and a millionaire united against injustice, hiding behind luxury. Over the next week, Devin returned to Silver Spoon 4 times, each visit with different appearance modifications. He documented seating patterns, timing service interactions to the second. The data was damning. Midnight-coded customers waited an average of 12 minutes longer for initial service, received 37% fewer check-ins during meals, and were offered dessert options 42% less frequently than platinum customers. During his third visit, Devon activated the recording pen when a server approached the service station. "Remember, premium interactions for platinum guests only," the shift manager instructed. "Midnight tables get baseline service, no extras, no exceptions. Bronze and silver get standard. Questions?" No one questioned. The system was normalized. Alyssa provided crucial context between visits. "Watch how they distribute servers. New hires get midnight sections until they prove reliability. Top performers get platinum sections exclusively." Devon noticed how Whitfield personally inspected tables before platinum guests arrived, but never entered the kitchen section unless complaints arose. The pattern was undeniable. Two restaurants operating within the same walls, premium experiences for some, deliberately diminished experiences for others, with skin color as the dividing line. James conducted discreet interviews with former employees, building a timeline of when discrimination became policy. 3 years ago, Whitfield introduced what he called customer experience optimization, reported a former host who'd quit 6 months earlier. He claimed data showed certain demographic groupings enhanced dining satisfaction. It was segregation dressed up as analytics. A former bartender explained the consequences of resistance. "I made special cocktails for a black couple celebrating their anniversary." Whitfield saw and cut my shifts from 5 to 2 the next week. Message received. Most disturbing was a former assistant manager's account. They track negative reviews from minority customers and have a special team that contacts them, not to address concerns, but to offer minimal compensation with agreements that include removing reviews. Devon's team compiled testimonials from 15 former employees. The pattern was consistent. Those who objected were sidelined or forced out. Those who complied were rewarded with better shifts and sections. The discrimination wasn't just permitted, it was incentivized. Devon's colleague Sophia went undercover as a new hire to document training practices. With hidden camera glasses, she captured the formal onboarding for new servers. Whitfield himself conducted the customer management portion of training. Never using explicitly racial terms, he nonetheless made the system clear. Platinum guests expect attentiveness and deserve our premium service model. These are our bread and butter, typically spending 30% more on wine and likely to return regularly. He displayed the tablet reservation system, highlighting color codes. Silver and bronze customers receive standard service efficient, but not elaborate. Midnight-coded reservations simply require strategic placement for everyone's comfort. A new server asked about the coding system's meaning. Whitfield's answer was corporate doublespeak. It's based on complex customer data and spending patterns. Your job isn't to question the system, but to implement it properly. The training included scripts for handling complaints from different customer categories and instructions for using earpieces to alert management about potential situations. Most revealing was the reward structure. Servers with highest satisfaction scores from platinum customers received the best shifts and sections. Discrimination wasn't just policy, it was the business model. Devon's investigation expanded to other Silver Spoon locations. His team visited 8 restaurants across 3 states. The findings were identical. Same color coding, same seating patterns, same service disparities. This wasn't one rogue manager, this was corporate strategy. Devon personally met with a mid-level corporate employee who provided access to internal communications. Emails referenced customer optimization protocols and strategic seating for maximum revenue generation. Most damning was a quarterly report showing implementation of optimization protocols has increased average checks by 22% and reduced table turnover times by 15% in platinum sections. The report explicitly noted, platinum customer satisfaction increases when dining experience is curated with demographic consistency. Translation: White customers spent more when seated exclusively with other white customers. The evidence mounted that Silver Spoon had calculated the financial benefit of discrimination and implemented it system-wide. They'd monetized racism while maintaining a public image of inclusion. By day 12, Devon had compiled irrefutable evidence of systematic discrimination across the entire chain. His team created a comprehensive timeline. 3 years ago, Whitfield pilots customer optimization at flagship location. 2 years ago, system implemented chain-wide after profitability increases. 18 months ago, training standardized with coded language. 1 year ago, expansion plan developed highlighting optimization as competitive advantage. Devon visited 3 more locations personally, confirming identical practices everywhere. The evidence was overwhelming, deliberate, strategic discrimination embedded in business operations. They've built a system where racism is profitable, Devon told his team during their final strategy session. They've calculated exactly how much money they make by segregating their customers and delivering tiered experiences based on race. The investigation had uncovered something far beyond isolated incidents. This was corporate discrimination by design, hiding behind luxury, exclusivity, and carefully coded language. Devon made his decision. We need one final piece of evidence, something that connects these practices directly to leadership and proves intent. The trap was set. Now they needed the smoking gun. Alyssa had taken the biggest risk of all. Working late one night when management was distracted with a celebrity guest, she accessed the manager's office and photographed the actual seating chart with color codes and annotations. Meeting Devon at their secure location, she handed over her phone with shaking hands. "This is the master template," she explained. "Each host carries a tablet version, but this is what they don't show employees during training." The document was explicit. Unlike the tablet version with simple color codes, this chart contained actual instructions. Platinum, white, window premier seating, full service model, wine suggestions mandatory, check-ins every 7 to 10 minutes. Silver, Asian, central seating, standard service, upsell opportunities with wine cocktails, check-ins every 15 minutes. Bronze, Hispanic Middle Eastern, flexible seating based on dress/language. Standard service, check-ins as needed. Midnight, black, kitchen proximity seating, basic service model, no automatic upgrades. Manager approval for complaints. Beneath these categories was a profitability analysis showing average spend by category and optimization impact measured in increased revenue. Devon stared at the document, simultaneously vindicated and sickened. "This is irrefutable." Alyssa nodded. "There's more. They track servers who disregard category protocols. 3 strikes and you're either fired or permanently assigned to midnight sections." Devon promised protection. "You've taken an enormous risk. My legal team will ensure you're protected both financially and legally." The smoking gun was in their hands. With Alyssa's evidence as leverage, 2 other employees came forward with critical documentation. A host provided access to the training manual titled Customer Experience Optimization that detailed the complete system. Though using coded language, the intent was clear throughout. Platinum guests represent our highest value customers and must receive priority in all service decisions. Research shows Platinum guest satisfaction decreases when seating arrangements don't optimize social compatibility. Most revealing was the section on handling complaints. Midnight category concerns should be addressed with efficiency rather than accommodation. Offer minimal adjustments unless escalation risk is high. The manual included specific instructions for moving non-category customers who were seated incorrectly and scripts for explaining why certain tables were reserved or unavailable. Meanwhile, an assistant bookkeeper provided financial analyses showing how the system drove profitability. Reports tracked average spending by category and measured optimization impact in revenue gains. One internal presentation explicitly stated, "Strategic seating arrangements have increased platinum customer retention by 35% and average spend by 22% chain-wide." The evidence now formed a complete picture. Discrimination as deliberate business strategy, documented from training to implementation to financial analysis. Devin executed the final phase of his investigation. Presenting himself as Devin Jackson, successful tech entrepreneur considering investing in Silver Spoon's expansion, he requested a meeting with Thomas Whitfield and regional executives. In the private dining room, wearing glasses with hidden camera, Devin listened as Whitfield proudly explained their industry-leading customer experience model. "What's your secret?" Devin asked innocently. "Many upscale restaurants struggle with consistency." Whitfield leaned forward confidently. "Between us, it's all about customer management. We've developed a proprietary system that optimizes seating and service to maximize satisfaction and spending." "How does it work?" Devin pressed. Whitfield explained their data-driven approach to categorizing customers and assigning experiences accordingly. Devin asked directly, "I've noticed some demographic patterns in your seating arrangements. Is that coincidental?" The moment of truth arrived. Whitfield, believing he was speaking to a potential investor rather than an investigator, let the mask slip. "The Comfort Optimization Program has increased our profits by 22% since implementation. We found that platinum customers, primarily our white clientele, spend more when they don't have to dine near certain demographics. It's not about discrimination. It's about maximizing customer comfort and spending potential." There it was. Devin continued the conversation, extracting additional admissions about managing expectations for different customer categories and strategic resource allocation based on spending patterns. By meeting's end, Whitfield had provided the final piece of evidence: explicit confirmation that race-based service discrimination was deliberate corporate strategy. The trap had closed. Devin had everything he needed. Devin's team gathered at his hotel suite to prepare for confrontation. The evidence was organized into an irrefutable case: color-coded seating charts with explicit racial categories, financial reports showing profit motivation, training materials with discriminatory instructions, statistical analysis of service disparities, employee testimonials, Whitfield's recorded admissions. Maya outlined legal protections for Alyssa and other whistleblowers, financial security, job placement assistance, and legal representation if needed. James prepared media packets with evidence highlights, ready to distribute if necessary. Sophia developed talking points emphasizing systemic issues rather than individual blame. Devin changed into an impeccably tailored suit, Rolex watch, and designer shoes, the full millionaire persona. The transformation was striking, from casual undercover diner to commanding executive. "Remember," he told the team, "our goal isn't just exposure, it's change. We offer a path to redemption first. If they refuse, then we proceed with public pressure." His phone rang. Whitfield confirming their follow-up investor meeting tomorrow. "Perfect," Devin said. "I'll bring my team to discuss specifics." The private dining room at Silver Spoon's flagship location was prepared for an investment discussion. Whitfield had assembled his executive team, including the CEO and regional directors. Champagne chilled in silver buckets. Devin arrived with Maya, James, and Sophia, introduced as his investment team. Whitfield's practiced charm was on full display as he welcomed potential partners. After initial pleasantries, Devin's demeanor shifted. "Before discussing investment, I need clarity on operational practices I've observed." Confusion flickered across Whitfield's face. "Of course. We're an open book." Devin nodded to Sophia, who distributed folders to everyone present. "These are copies of your color-coded seating charts, categorizing customers by race." The room temperature seemed to drop. Whitfield's smile froze. "I didn't come here today as an investor, Mr. Whitfield." I came as someone who believes that how you treat your least privileged customer reveals who you truly are. Recognition dawned on Whitfield's face. You're the man from last week, table 27. And the week before. And the week before that, Devon confirmed. I've experienced your midnight service personally, along with dozens of other customers who had no idea they were being discriminated against based on their skin color. The CEO intervened. These are serious allegations without evidence? Devon interrupted, nodding to James, who activated a screen showing the documented discrimination. We have everything. The question is, what are you going to do about it? For the next hour, Devon methodically presented evidence of Silver Spoon's discriminatory practices. Seating charts with explicit racial coding. Statistical analysis showing consistent service disparities across all locations. Financial reports tying discrimination to profit strategy. Employee testimonials describing punishment for equal treatment. Training materials with coded instructions for differentiated service. Finally, the smoking gun. Whitfield's recorded admission about comfort optimization, increasing profits by keeping white customers separated from certain demographics. Throughout the presentation, the executive's expressions shifted from denial to shock to resignation. The CEO attempted damage control. If these practices occurred, they were without corporate knowledge. Devon played another recording. The CEO himself referencing optimization protocols in a management call. This isn't one rogue manager, Devon stated firmly. This is corporate policy implemented across 30 locations. You've systematized racism and called it customer experience. He turned to Whitfield. You told me yourself platinum customers spend more when they don't dine near black families. You've monetized discrimination. Whitfield's face hardened. We respond to market realities. Our customers don't know you're manipulating their experience, Devon finished. White customers aren't asking to be separated. You're creating segregation and calling it preference. The evidence was undeniable. The system stood exposed in its full ugliness. You have two choices, Devon informed the silent executives. Option 1, I walk out of here and send this evidence to the New York Times, CNN, and the NAACP tomorrow morning. Your reservations disappear, lawsuits multiply, and your brand becomes synonymous with discrimination. The CEO paled. And option 2? You acknowledge the problem, take responsibility, and implement comprehensive changes that I'll help design with full protection for employees who exposed these practices. Devon laid out immediate requirements, removing all racial coding from systems, public accountability, financial compensation for affected employees, and new leadership. Initial denials gave way to recognition of inevitability. The evidence was too comprehensive, the potential damage too severe. Within hours, news of operational issues requiring temporary closure for staff training appeared on Silver Spoon's social media. Industry insiders began speculating about problems at the prestigious chain. Devon's team monitored reactions, preparing for either outcome, cooperation or confrontation. By evening, the CEO requested another meeting. We want to discuss your proposed changes. The first phase of accountability had begun. The system stood exposed, its architects faced with the consequences of their creation. Devon texted Alyssa. They're listening. Change is coming. 3 days later, Silver Spoon's executive team met Devon at his company's headquarters neutral territory for negotiating transformation. The CEO had abandoned denial for damage control. We recognize serious failures in our service model and want to implement corrections immediately. Devon was unmoved by corporate speak. Let's be direct. You implemented a system of racial discrimination for profit. Failures suggests mistakes. This was deliberate. With Maya beside him, Devon presented non-negotiable requirements. Public acknowledgement of discriminatory practices. Complete removal of all race-based systems. Financial compensation for affected employees, New leadership at corporate and local levels. Equity sharing with employees who exposed the practices. Transparent accountability metrics moving forward. The executives balked at the scope. This goes beyond reasonable remediation. Devon placed a flash drive on the table. This contains everything we've documented. I've invested $2 million in this investigation. The question isn't whether you'll change, it's whether you'll change before or after your brand is destroyed. By meeting's end, the framework for transformation was established. Silver Spoon would close all locations for 2 weeks for comprehensive retraining. The public statement would acknowledge serious service disparities without admitting legal liability. Most importantly, oversight of the transformation would be conducted by an independent ethics committee with Devon as chairman. 1 week later, Devon presented his ultimatum as potential investor. The restaurant chain faced mounting pressure after vague statements about service issues prompted media speculation. "I'll invest $50 million in Silver Spoon on these conditions," Devon informed the board of directors. His terms were comprehensive: removal of current operations leadership, including Whitfield equity shares for whistleblowers and affected employees, new reservation and service systems with transparency guarantees, mandatory equity training with ongoing assessment, diverse leadership at all levels, public accountability reporting quarterly. "This isn't just ethical, it's good business," Devon explained. "Discrimination alienates customers, drives away talent, and creates legal liability. Inclusive excellence attracts broader clientele and builds sustainable growth." He presented financial projections showing how eliminating discriminatory practices would actually increase profitability by expanding customer base and reducing turnover. "Your choice is simple. Partner with me to become the industry standard for inclusive luxury, or fight a losing battle against evidence of systematic discrimination." Faced with potential brand destruction and legal consequences, the board accepted Devon's terms with one addition of their own. Devon would join the board to oversee implementation. The restaurant that had discriminated against him would now answer to him. Whitfield's removal made headlines in industry publications. Silver Spoon leadership changes amid service controversy signaled the beginning of visible transformation. Devon worked with HR to identify other architects of the discriminatory system. Those who had created and enforced the color coding were removed with appropriate severance. Those who had merely complied out of fear were offered retraining. Most significantly, Devon created leadership opportunities for those who had resisted discrimination. Alyssa Rodriguez was appointed Customer Experience Director with equity shares in the company. Her first task, designing a truly equitable service model. James Okafor, the former manager who had been demoted for refusing to implement the coding system, returned as Operations Director for the flagship location. Devon personally interviewed candidates for executive positions, prioritizing both diversity and commitment to equitable practices. The new leadership team reflected the diverse customers they served. When asked by a board member if such dramatic changes risked alienating traditional customers, Devon was unequivocal. "If equal treatment alienates someone, they're not customers we want. True hospitality doesn't discriminate." Within a month, Silver Spoon had new leadership, new systems, and a new mission: to become the industry leader in inclusive luxury dining. The transformation went beyond personnel. Every aspect of the discriminatory system was dismantled and rebuilt with equity at its core. The color-coded reservation system was replaced with transparent table assignment based solely on reservation time and party size. During a symbolic ceremony at staff retraining, Alyssa and Devon shredded the old seating charts. New service standards established identical protocols for all customers, with clear metrics for consistency. Mystery shoppers of different races would regularly evaluate whether all guests received equal treatment. Physical spaces were redesigned to eliminate premium and standard sections. Every table became a quality table. Kitchen operations were reconfigured to minimize noise near adjacent seating. Most importantly, the financial incentive system changed. Rather than rewarding servers for extracting maximum spending from platinum customers, The new model rewarded consistent excellence across all tables. Devon addressed the entire staff during retraining. True hospitality doesn't see color. It sees humans deserving equal dignity. That's not just morally right, it's good business. The company established an ethics hotline, allowing employees to report any disparities without fear of retaliation. Quarterly reports would track service consistency across demographic groups. Silver Spoon was being rebuilt from its foundation, not just covering the cracks, but replacing the broken structure entirely. 6 weeks after the confrontation, Silver Spoon reopened with a transformed culture. The staff, many initially skeptical, became architects of the new system, rather than just following orders. Devon created equity circles, mixed groups of employees from different positions who met regularly to evaluate practices and suggest improvements. Frontline staff had direct access to leadership, breaking down hierarchies that had enabled discrimination. During one such meeting, a server who had initially defended the old system spoke up. "I didn't realize how we were being manipulated to treat people differently. I thought it was just business." Alyssa nodded. "The system was designed so we wouldn't question it. Now we question everything." The anonymous reporting system proved rarely necessary as open communication became normalized. When a host expressed concern about a manager's seating decisions, the conversation happened directly rather than through formal channels. Most powerfully, employees who had been silenced found their voices. A bartender shared how he'd been reprimanded for giving excessive attention to black customers. A host described the anxiety of following discriminatory protocols while believing they were wrong. These conversations, painful but necessary, created authentic solidarity among a staff previously divided by complicity and resistance. The customer experience transformation was equally profound. Regular guests noticed immediately that something had changed. A black family celebrating a graduation was seated at a premium window table, something impossible under the old system. Their server, previously restricted to midnight sections, provided the attentive service once reserved for platinum guests. When they commented on the excellent experience, their server smiled genuinely. This is how it should have always been. Early data showed unexpected benefits. Without artificial constraints on service, employees developed authentic connections with all customers. Satisfaction scores increased across all demographic groups. Even more surprising, average spending increased as guests responded to genuine rather than performance-based service. Devon regularly dined at different locations, sometimes recognized, sometimes still undercover. The consistency of experience regardless of his appearance confirmed the transformation was taking hold. Most telling was overhearing a conversation between two servers. "Remember how we used to code tables? That was messed up. I still can't believe we did that. Never again." The change wasn't just procedural, it was becoming cultural. 3 months after reopening, Silver Spoon held a staff appreciation event. Unlike previous corporate functions segregated by position, this gathering included everyone from dishwashers to executives. Devon took the opportunity to recognize those who had risked everything to expose injustice. "Transformation isn't possible without courage," he said, inviting Alyssa to the stage. "Some people see wrong and look away. Others, like Alyssa Rodriguez, risk everything to make it right." The applause was thunderous as Alyssa received an award created in her honor, the Integrity and Hospitality Recognition, which would be given annually to employees who demonstrated exceptional commitment to equitable treatment. James Okafor, now thriving as operations director, shared his story of demotion under the old regime. "I lost my position for seating a black family at a window table. Today, I'm proud to say such an act would be celebrated, not punished." Perhaps most powerful was hearing from Thomas Whitfield's former assistant, who had secretly preserved evidence of the discriminatory systems. "I watched discrimination become policy. Now I'm watching equality become culture." The evening ended with Devon announcing a profit-sharing program, giving all employees a stake in the company's success. True change means sharing power, not just changing policies. 6 months after the confrontation, Devin and Alyssa met for dinner at the flagship Silver Spoon location, sitting at a table that would have been coded midnight in the old system. "Did you ever imagine this outcome when you passed me that note?" Devin asked. Alyssa shook her head, watching diverse customers enjoying identical service throughout the restaurant. "I just couldn't stay silent anymore. I never expected actual justice." The restaurant hummed with authentic hospitality. Servers moved confidently without earpieces monitoring their interactions. Hosts seated guests based solely on reservations and preferences, no coded tablets in sight. "The company's valuation has increased 12%, Devin noted. "Turns out discrimination was bad business all along." Alyssa, now part owner through her equity shares, nodded. "People can feel the difference." "We're booked solid 3 months out with a more diverse clientele than ever." Devin's undercover days weren't over. He'd already identified his next target for investigation. But watching Silver Spoon's transformation from instrument of discrimination to model of inclusion reminded him why the fight mattered. Silver Spoon's transformation rippled through the restaurant industry. 3 competing luxury chains quietly abandoned similar customer optimization systems before facing their own exposés. Industry publications ran features on the Silver Spoon model of equitable hospitality. The National Restaurant Association invited Alyssa to speak about building inclusive service cultures. The numbers told a compelling story. Employee turnover dropped 60%, customer complaints decreased 40%, and profitability increased 15%, proving that equity and excellence reinforced rather than opposed each other. Most significantly, Silver Spoon became known for its diverse leadership pipeline. Former servers and hosts who had resisted discrimination now filled management positions, bringing lived experience to decision-making. Devin's investment proved profitable beyond expectations. His $50 million stake had appreciated substantially, demonstrating that justice and returns could align perfectly. The color-coded seating chart framed in the company's headquarters as a reminder of past failures stood in stark contrast to the transparent reservation system now used throughout the chain. After the transformation, Devin launched a website called Dining Equality that quickly gained national attention. The platform allowed users to document their experiences at restaurants across the country. Have you noticed different treatment at restaurants? Take a photo of your receipt, note your seating location and service quality, then upload to diningequality.org. Your experience becomes part of a larger pattern. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Within weeks, thousands of diners had contributed experiences, creating a comprehensive database that revealed systematic disparities invisible to individual customers. Several restaurant chains, seeing the writing on the wall, proactively announced service equity audits. Others found themselves facing mounting public pressure as clear patterns emerged from the crowdsourced documentation. The movement expanded beyond restaurants. Hotels, retail establishments, and even healthcare facilities faced new scrutiny about how they prioritized and treated customers of different backgrounds. What began with Alyssa's handwritten note had evolved into a national conversation about hidden discrimination in customer service. The Silver Spoon case became a Harvard Business School case study on how addressing discrimination could actually improve profitability and brand value. For Devin, this was just the beginning. As he reviewed plans for his next investigation, he knew that systems of privilege rarely disappeared without exposure and accountability. But he also knew that with enough courage and evidence, even the most entrenched discrimination could be dismantled. If this story of courage, justice, and transformation moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button to help more people discover how one brave waitress and an undercover millionaire exposed discrimination hiding in plain sight. Subscribe to Beat Stories for more powerful true stories of everyday heroes standing up against injustice. Every week, We bring you meticulously researched accounts of people who refused to accept the status quo and took action to create real change. Turn on notifications so you never miss our new uploads. Our next investigation exposes how a janitor uncovered corporate fraud that was endangering thousands. You won't want to miss it. Comment below with your own experiences of witnessing discrimination or standing up for what's right. Your story could inspire others to take action.
Behind every headline is a human story. At Beat Stories, we go deeper, where emotion meets evidence and drama reveals the system. If this story made you pause, reflect, or feel something, don't forget to subscribe. There's more to come.